Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. You already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. And listen, we must discuss what's going on with Colorado. Colorado gets another win in the bag. You could book it. You know, it's no debating right now. Colorado is a force to be reckoned with. You know, we got Coach Warren Sapp on the defensive end today. He was on all 10, y'all. You know, he had that defense clicking. There was some areas where we could be improved, but we're going to get all into it. You know, we still got a little bit more football to play. But nonetheless, man, Colorado is just putting their foot up Utah. You know, it's 49-24 right now. You know, you got a minute and some change remaining in this game. You know, we got Travis Hunter. He just went ballistic today. I mean, I mean, with all seriousness, if anybody else could you imagine if somebody else was to win the Heisman other than Travis? I know this season early on, you know, basically, you know, Deion let it be known they might as well give him the award. You know, what's going on? The Heisman is in the bag. And every game this season, he was healthy. Last year, the health played a major part. And you seeing who's the most dominant player in college football. It's point blank, period. There's no other way to slice and dice this situation. Utah today, you know, they went down. And they had some moments where you thought they was going to come in there and possibly squeak and make this game more interesting than it actually was. You know, Travis Hunter, every time he made a massive play, you seen the Heisman pose. You know, he continues to let it be known. He's the Heisman Award winner, you know, and he's stomping his way into the NFL. You know, he's not going in being nice. You know, he rolling in, he's stomping his way. Colorado, I'm not surprised. They are going to be a force. And a lot of people believe that they're going to do something when they get to, you know, the playoffs. I knew for a fact that they was going to be a factor this season just because of last year. You're not going to give Deion 2 wasted years, you know, and not expect him to figure out the situation the next year after. We are officially wrapped up here, you know, in Colorado. They will defeat Utah. It is 49-24. The Colorado Buffaloes improved their record, you know, once again, and they are just letting it be known they're a force. And when you got Travis playing like this, when you got Shador playing like this, it could get very problematic. He's a wait, this dude crazy. this guy. What's going on with your boy Warren Sapp, Sky? I see Sky in the building early. Coach Warren Sapp, you got to give him credit today. I understand Utah made things interesting, but he's gonna have to buckle down. We know what's at stake. Give Coach Prime credit. You know, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. You know, the truth and a half. You know, and a lot of people didn't expect this from Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. This is the first 4-game winning streak. You know, and like I said, Coach Prime is doing big things, man. That's all I'm gonna let it be known. It's the first 4-game winning streak under Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, for the Colorado Buffaloes. You know, so they continue to, you know, just make their case under Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. All access was the deal. Dex, I see Dex in here. You see what's going on with Colorado. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yes, sir. First of all, shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest in the street. Right. Thank you once again for inviting me onto your stream and integrating me onto the platform. Like, listen, this was a bomb burner, like, because everything went right for this game. Um, if you're on the cutting edge of trying to find an extra income stream, and we consider it a soft income stream, and you lay a little skin on this, Vegas is crying right now. Vegas is in tears, like this game right here. Vegas tried to set up the money people. And the reason why they try to set it up like is because they try to extend Colorado as the overwhelming favorite and try to pluck on the emotions of those who are intellectually and financially free. How is that? This game right here with Go to Colorado, Fortune Field, CU Buck Nation, go baby go, was a 10 to 14 point spread, like, and they tried to introduce a conundrum by putting Colorado so far ahead, the biggest spread they had in probably the last 10 years as a favorite, while playing the number one defense in the Big 12 conference, like. I'm talking about overall number one defense. And you don't hang a 49 dinger on the number one defense in a prospective conference. Something went wrong here, right? Or for some of us, something went right. This game was clearly over. This game was covered. Utah did kind of try to throw a monkey wrench in it, put a little scare in some of the people that put a good wager on this game for Colorado to cover the spread, Colorado money line, and Colorado over the total point for the game. Colorado did a clean sweep on the better side. Now, Warren Sapp, like, Warren Sapp, did you see him on the sideline? He was the number one cheerleader for this defensive front. Yes.
No, so
he was the number one. Very animated fight. I mean, this was crazy. Warren Sapp wanted to put on a uniform. Listen, if Warren Sapp can rewind the time, he would have put on a CU Buff helmet and uniform with say Sapp on the back, and he would get down on that defensive front. And I don't know who he's going to take out and who he's going to replace, but he would have done something. He would have used his authority and influence to get down on that line and dig dirt and get after that quarterback and kill, because Warren Sapp is a true hunter, a warrior in his spirit. And he has instilled that in that defensive front. And listen, R. Livingston is such a genius in the way he makes his in-game adjustment. Nobody's talking about Livingston making his in-game adjustments. Did you see the defense swarm to the ball? Yes, they had a few little gaffes and kind of lack. That's what happens when you have a lot of black players. Listen, Flight, I got to tell it like it is, man. I'm sorry. When you got a bunch of spades out there, Flight, you're going to have your up and downs in emotions through the ebbs and flow of the vicissitudes of this game. And it always happens that way because a lot of black athletes work off emotion. If you can't get the emotion high, they might not pursue the ball as strong, or they might not pursue the ball carrier as strong, and then you get these laps in the defense. That's why Warren Sapp was so animated. He knows it. He knows better. Warren Sapp was one of those type of kids that you had to drive him in to make him so successful at all levels of playing NFL, collegiate, as well as high school sports. Like Jador Sanders, out of control. Oh my God, was he out of control? He was spinning that pigskin. He overcame an early interception as well as a fumble where he took his eyes off the ball and the ball went down and the defense recovered. And he didn't get rattled. He wasn't upset. He wasn't flustered. He just came back and sent the touchdown to his receiving room. I love what I'm watching with Colorado. I love how Deion Sanders has delegated authority to these players, to these coaches as it trickles down onto the players. Because we know with a personality like Deion Sanders' flight, it's hard for somebody else to listen to anything other than Deion Sanders. But the way that Deion Sanders have coached and correct this exotic flavor of black and gold, it is nothing short of remarkable. Like Deion Sanders, 8-2, 7-1 in the Big 12 conference, control their own destiny. When the last time we can say that Colorado controls their own destiny? Keep winning, baby. Get to the finish line and close the deal.
Like I said, this is a 4-game winning streak, Dex. It seems like they're stomping their way into the playoffs. What do you have to say about Travis Hunter? Obviously we got into Deion. We're gonna get into Shador. You touched on him briefly. We're gonna break down more Shador, but Travis tonight, Dex. I mean, how many more cases does he have to make? For the Heisman Award. Do you think that is all but settled? What the hell is going on? Because Travis had himself a hell of a game as well.
Yes, I think Travis Hunter kind of dipped a slight bit due to the fact that he had a mental lapse and allowed a wide receiver to get behind him because he was so bored out there and nothing was coming his way. And then the brilliancy of Coach Willingham to go ahead and try Travis because they was watching him and they was looking at his body language and they said, "Oh, we might can get him right here. All we need is a good throw." And that quarterback, Wilson, put the ball right in the baby basket, as we call it, the basket net, and the wide receiver hit pay dirt. Travis Hunter was pissed off about it. He know what happened. You can't lose your focus not one bit. And Deion Sanders is the perfect coach to be able to remind him of that. Just because they ain't coming to you all day, they watching you, and they're going to watch your body language. They're going to see if you're slipping out there, and they did catch him slipping. But that's the first touchdown on Travis Hunter this year. I believe he has the Heisman Trophy sold up. Now, of course, that would be a highlight against Travis Hunter because it's not much flaw in his game. Next game when Travis Hunter plays, you best believe he's going to have at least 10 to 12 catches, probably around 15 attempts, just to make up for that situation that happened today on the defensive end. But listen, nobody's perfect, right? So we understand that. But the pundits now, let me.
Yeah, it looked like Dex we have some technical difficulties, but Travis Hunter, man, we was just getting into Travis and the highs. You there, Dex?
Yeah, I said when we watch and experience when we watch the Travis Hunter experience fight, we are seeing something that we have never seen before. I don't care what people say about Chet Bailey or what's the other Winston. I don't care what they say about that. They didn't do it on this level for this long and have that much production in a certain wide receiver set or defensive back set. So the trophy should be walked over to Travis Hunter and placed in his lap by the competition committee as well as those who doing the voting. Now we know that Ashton, aka AJ from Boise State, is making a case since Cam kind of fell down a little bit. Cam Ward kind of fell down a little bit due to that loss to Georgia Tech. But we've seen with Ashton, we've seen that before. We seen the Barry Sanders of the world. We seen the Troy Davis of the world. Flight, for crying out loud, Troy Davis for Iowa State University, the Cyclones, he rushed for 2,000 yards in consecutive seasons, back to back, and still didn't come out with no hardware. So don't give me that crap about what AJ is doing over at Boise State on that blue carpet. Don't give me that crap. We've seen this all before, and if you ain't breaking no Barry Sanders record, I ain't trying to hear a 2,000-yard rusher because Troy Davis did it twice, and he did it back to back at Iowa State, Cyclones, and he didn't come out with no hardware none of those years. He rushed for over 2,000 yards. Like,
Yeah, you got a great point there, Dex. What can the Colorado Buffaloes do in the playoffs? Obviously, this 4-game winning streak, it looks like it's going to continue rolling all the way up until then. What can they actually do? Can they compete for a championship? How serious are the Colorado Buffaloes?
Flight, they are very serious, Flight. And yeah, Flight, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are very serious, Flight. And the reason why I'm saying this is because they hung a 49 dinger on the number one defense in the Big 12 conference. I'm talking about rush defense, pass defense, scoring defense. The overall defense, the Utah youth was number one. This is why I'm saying that the Vegas odd makers are trying to play trickery with the Bears out here, trying to extend Colorado as an overwhelming home favorite, knowing that they're going up against the number one defense in their conference, and these guys are hungry. Plus, a really brilliant coach in Whittingham. So if they can put up a 49 dinger and not play their best football, man, all they have to do is win out and face BYU. You saw what Utah did to BYU. Just imagine BYU playing and a scouted receiver, of course, like the Colorado Buffaloes, and they still was down Jimmy Horn. Man, it's going to be ugly if they get to that Big 12 championship. Like, it will be ugly. And damn well, Colorado will get into the playoffs.
Utah today, man, because we talk about Warren Sapp. A lot of people feel like Utah was hurt, riddled with injuries, so they're kind of trying to not give Coach Prime, Colorado, Travis the credit they deserve. What do you think about Utah? They made some signs in this game. Did you feel at any point that these guys was going to creep back in this? Because they kept cutting it. It looked like Colorado wanted to run their ass off the field a lot earlier, but it seemed like they just couldn't do it because Utah just kept getting right back in it. They had the 2-point conversion, a touchdown here, a touchdown there. But then later, as time waned, they was able to break away. What do you think about the way Utah fought today? Do you think at any point Colorado was in danger?
Well, first of all, like, hats off to Utah for fighting. Those youth just don't give up. And look at the quarterback. I mean, a freshman. I mean, they was on their third quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. And Wilson played a really hell of a tough game going out there competing head-to-head against a Heisman hopeful, and maybe the first QB1 off the board on draft night is Shedeur Sanders. So we have to give hats off to that. Utah knew coming into this game that they were going to be in a rough ride. I mean, look at all of the skullduggery that was placed out by Coach Willingham, talking about how he's going to emphasize on his man-to-man defense. Like, if my memory don't strike me well, he was playing the zone, and he was playing the cover too. So all this man-to-man defense was out the window once they hit close to the field. And like I said, it was some skullduggery going on with Coach Willingham, but it didn't work. And once again, I cannot enumerate as I keep putting emphasis on the tapestry of Colorado scoring their highest point output total all this season on the number one defense in the Big 12 Conference. And we know the Big 12 Conference, they pound and ground. I mean, they pound and ground, as well as they have an aerial assault. So for them to be the number one defense, the Utah Youth wasn't coming in the making games and turn this Utah Youth out on their head back onto the trail of tears. Excuse me, that's a bad expression, but back onto the trail of tears. I congratulate CU Buff Nation and Coach Prime rolling out a tremendous game plan. Come out of it, but ask me if you can offensive game plan. But they got back to it. They put up big numbers, almost a 50 apple, but we'll take the 39 piece. Colorado is serious about their destiny flight.
Deion Sanders has proven all his doubters wrong this season. Can't you agree?
Not only is he proving them wrong, flight, he's proving himself right. That's the main thing. Because you're going to always have people that don't see it the way you see it. And if they are emotionally raised, then they're going to turn themselves into haters. They're going to turn themselves into cynics. They're going to turn themselves into pessimists. They're going to turn themselves into unhealthy skeptics. And they're going to turn themselves into non-believers. And that is expected on that side of the aisle. But which is more charming than alarming is that Coach Prime has proven that when he said, "You better catch me now while I'm down," it was prophetic. Like,
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The Buffs, man, it's just wild, man. They have now scored 55 points off takeaways this year. So I think that is another, good credit to that defensive approach. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with, point blank, period. Just like, Dex just said, Coach Prime is proving everybody wrong. They all counted Deion Sanders out this year. Now a lot of people may have expected Colorado to have a so-so year. No, ladies and gentlemen, let's not make no mistake about the situation. This has been a dominant season for Colorado. Last year they was the laughing stock all off season. These reporters, just like Dex said, these so-called pundits, they ran around, just with Coach Prime's name just in the cellars. Now they're not giving, I guess they're waiting for them to lose or have a devastating loss or something like that for them to pounce on Deion Sanders. But I want everybody to remember this time that the Buffs are in, because you don't see these guys running around and talking crazy anymore. Deion Sanders is coming in every weekend and looking dominant, and the Buffs look like they're going to have a chance to win every game. They look like they got the better players, you understand, at each position, and they're showing it. And they're going to have guys go very high in this draft, just because of this year, point blank, period. You could book that. Dex, what's your thoughts on those statements?
you're right, but like I said, it's not so much about proving the naysayers wrong. It's about Coach Prime proving himself right, knowing that he can do it on all levels, regardless of the doubters. And they had Colorado finishing with 3 wins, like less than what they did last season. They thought last season, like they thought last season was the apex of Coach Prime tenure at Colorado. But listen, like I said before, I don't care how much dirt you pull on Coach Prime. It doesn't matter if it's in the volume is in tons. Coach Prime is a seed, and dirt only assists in his blossoming. It only assists in his tenacious ability to overcome all odds and impediments that are in his path. Coach Prime is a diligent and focused winner. Like, he don't win by serendipity. He doesn't win by haphazard. This brilliant high processor wins by calculations. Like, And a lot of people don't see it like that because they just think that he just a sports jock. They're not looking at how brilliant he is on and off the field and the things materialize that Coach Prime puts on that powder wheel and starts shaping it and fashioning it until it has the perfect form. Like so Colorado already have exceeded all expectations if they don't win another game this season. No, Colorado will not be the laughing stock. They will not be the butt of all jokes. They will not be ridiculed and scorned. Colorado have shown that resiliency is alive. Like,
Right. I want to bring you back to the beginning of this game. Shedeur Sanders, he threw a pick early. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think this is going to affect him in the NFL draft? How should NFL scouts view this pick early in this game?
like the only how that interception would affect his draft stock.
You're starting to break up a little bit. I say that to say because you have so many high-profile quarterbacks in this upcoming draft.
Don't matter. Don't matter. Don't matter. Like Shedeur Sanders will be QB1, number one on draft night. It would be a sore eye if a quarterback is drafted higher than Shedeur and Shedeur is coming into the draft healthy. So I don't think that that interception would have done anything to his draft stock, like I said, unless he didn't throw another pass that game and he clammed up into a shell and was other than himself. But since that interception, since that fumble, Shedeur Sanders was spinning that pigskin all around the field, and his generosity have shown because he continues to hit multiple receivers night in and night out. It's like, if you ask me, as a QB1, any receiver room would love to have his charity on the field with them every Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, most definitely. And as you, Dex, you're a big time, Cowboy fan. I want to get into how this affects the Cowboys briefly while we're here. I want to touch on a little bit what Deion is saying.
Which was wonderful. So I'm proud of Charlie, of who he is and how he represents his program as a 4.0 student. He's above board on everything, never on anybody's list, and helps everyone that ever endeavors to come to him for advice, for support, for knowledge in the running back room as well. So thank God for Charlie. Thank God for the fans. I think we sold out once again. I didn't see a seat available. And I don't know what that smell that I smell every week that goes on in the second quarter. But I see a lot of people up there smiling, so I don't know what it is. I saw that we paid a tribute to Miss Peggy. That was phenomenal. I think she's breaking the 100, right? I think Tuesday. I think she got something Sunday though, right? Yeah. What she got Sunday? She got her birthday party Sunday. At the crib? Peggy got a party at the crib. I love her to life. God, I love her to life. And I'm so thankful just it seems as though the bowl is getting better and better and better because we're so focused and we're so dedicated on week to week, not looking down the street, but week to week. And I'm so darn proud of our coordinators, the staff, the young men, the women that's in this program, chef, cooking his butt off in the kitchen, the training staff, everybody done a phenomenal job. Let's go.
Hi, Coach. How you doing? Nikki Edwards, Hughes Sports Report. You scored a season-high 49 points against the best defense in the Big 12. What went into that game plan in exploiting Utah's defense?
We wanted to really protect that quarterback. Every week we say, let's protect that quarterback. Let's do some things that we don't feel like they can stop. We feel like we have the best receiving core in the country. We can protect the quarterback, and those guys eventually they're going to get open, especially we have the assistance of a running game. And we showed flashes of having a running game. Isaiah did a phenomenal job today, breaking one, but we got to be more consistent with that. And the sky would be the limit if we can really have consistency and the word escapes me what I'm trying to say, but we need to really want and desire and just have passion to run the football at times. I think we're liking that. But prayerfully, we get it going because we could do some remarkable things if we have a more balanced offense.
Lincoln Roach, CU Independent. How's the team feeling right now after finally breaking that 7-year losing streak against the Utes?
We don't care about that. We went here then, so we could care less. I just walked out the locker room and I'm pretty sure there's a party going on and somebody's rapping. That's how they feel. They feel really good. They feel really good about what they just accomplished, and they should. Every week we warn them to be gentlemen and be men. So we want you to go out and have a good time, but don't do nothing to threaten what you worked your butt off for. In this moment, is that.
Hi, Coach.
Dax, I want to ask you a question because we got Coach Prime at the podium right now. He spoke on having a much more balanced offense and some consistency at the running position. He said that he's got the best receiving core in the country. I want to get your thoughts on those bold statements from Coach Prime, Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I could agree with him more. I mean, he said it best. You have to have a balanced offense. I mean, isn't that a change of tone from Coach Prime in about 5 weeks ago when he said nobody cares about balance when you're winning? So somebody must inculcate that into his head that balance and equilibrium is what wins championships. And I think it could have been Coach Saban, you know what I mean? But nevertheless, I'm glad he have a change of heart and he have 360 and he have 180 on his stance when it came to balance, because maybe Coach Prime felt that he's taking the ball out of Travis and Shadur hands with his running game, and he doesn't have the kind of prolific offensive line that he can pursue an elite, top-notch running game. So maybe that was part of his demeanor when he still spoke about balance. Like Coach Prime knows what he got, and he knows that. Like I said before, when you got a bunch of spades out there hawking that ball and trying to be the number one guy to make the number one play, and the ball don't come their way sometimes, or if they misstep and default on their gap integrity, then these young men get a little upset because it's kind of embarrassing because they know somebody's going to clown it. They know somebody on their social media is going to highlight that and try to poke fun at them and make them feel bad. But if you don't pick them up immediately, like a D. Lewis, like a Warren Sapp, like a Coach Livingston, then these players will sink into a shallow, sunken, dark place until somebody shake their medulla and get them back out there and wake them up so they can pursue their goals and their dreams to be financially free of debt and things of that nature on the next level. So I love what Coach Prime is saying because Coach Prime has dialed it back to a certain degree when it comes to being very vivacious and ostentatious. So it's a marvel that the adjustments Coach Prime has delegated throughout his coaching staff in order for the Colorado Buffaloes to be as successful as they are and continue as the playoff is within sight. I don't know if that was the goal, honestly, for Colorado coming into this season to be a part of that 12-man playoff, but it was definitely a goal to get Peggy into a bowl in the most prestigious bowl that will afford them according to their record. Now they have exceeded that flight. Now their eyes is on the playoff. Their eyes is on the prize. Like,
yes, absolutely. I'm gonna get a little more statement from Coach Prime.
He can play the slot. He can play out wide. He can get in the backfield. He can go wildcat. I mean, the kid is talented, and he's a freshman. And I thought we didn't recruit those, but this kid is a great young man. I mean, he was raised properly. Has the right influences in his life, and the older players are taking him up under their wings, and they make sure that he gets it right. He knows his assignments, his alignments, and the kid practices his butt off every day. So I'm so proud of him. He had, I think, went for 100 yards today. Yeah, awesome, man. I'm proud of him. Jack Harlow. He said that like he was gonna get it like you get it. No, dog. That's only for Jack Harlow.
The receiving room has like 4 very different kinds of receivers.
Yes, sir.
Do you try to recruit that so that like set up like that and kind of?
Yeah. We, everybody makes a big deal over what you recruit and how you recruit. You got to find what you like and try to replicate that. So you know what Jimmy brings to the table, right? You know what LeJohntay brings to the table. You got to have 3 or 4 guys to bring to the table what Travis is bringing. But you know what all our receivers bring, and you go out and try to find that guy because that's what you want into your room. Not only the game, but the character of our receivers. Will had a wonderful thing as well. Make some great contested catches, and that's the thing we've been asking him. Like every time Shador sees him one-on-one over there, he's going to put it up, and he expects him to come down with it. And oftentimes he does. So proud of him as well.
John Treach, 9 News. Coach, you doubled last year's win total by doubling up a traditional powerhouse. Can you allow yourself to appreciate where you are right now?
No whatsoever. Because we expect to be here. A lot of y'all didn't expect us to be here. And don't think we don't know that. But we expect it to be where we are. Matter of fact, we expect it to be a little better. We dropped a couple that we're not proud of, but that's in the past. So now we focus on one game at a time. We really, truly do. But our expectations ain't your expectations. Our expectations are our expectations, and we expect a lot out of ourselves. We practice with the type of intensity and passion and love and effort that you can't help but be successful in what we do. And when we don't do things properly, it shows. We're beating ourselves at times. And nobody beating us. We're beating ourselves. And we just got to focus on those little things and correct them so we can be flawless. That's the goal. To come out here and be dominant offensively, defensively, as well as special teams. I think 2 phases we dominated today, special teams as well as defensive side of the ball. We did. We just got to get the offense. And it's hard to critique them. Like I say, I was on Shador's butt all day today, and I look up, he's 30 for 41. I think any coach in the country would accept that willingly.
Well,
Congratulations, Coach Prime.
Dex, I think Coach Prime just echoed a lot of statements that we continue to echo here, is that a lot of people didn't expect him to be there. He expected the Colorado Buffaloes to be a lot more ahead than they are now. They believe that they dropped the game here. What do you think about Deion recognizing that despite, and also him saying that they can't be too happy with this success that's going on right now? It seems like Deion moving like they just took a loss. How do you feel Deion's approach to all of this?
Well, I believe Deion had the correct approach as a leader because the job is not done. The job is not finished. They have yet to cross the finish line. So until then, there's always going to be critique of the flaws, the critique and recognition of the flaws until they have a 3-dimensional perfect game, which means offense, defense, and special teams come into alignment to execute and demonstrate a dominant performance. I believe Coach Prime knows that Colorado has not played their best game yet. And the game that they dropped, okay, Nebraska, that was the only game that they really got pulverized, right? And that was only in the first half. And then they pivoted from that point on. Kansas State, now that was on Shiloh. You know, regardless of what Shiloh have done since then, he has upped his stock since that Kansas State fiasco towards the end. Shiloh is out there hitting hard. Like Shiloh is jarring the ball loose from the ball carrier. This is what Shiloh does, and this will put Shiloh in a uniform on Sunday night. So Deion recognized it. Coach Prime recognized it, and he tries to echo this throughout his coaching staff and the football team and hoping it resonates and hit the guys that needed to hit in order for Colorado not to have these type of slippage moments during the game, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, or whether it's special teams. Have to culminate into shit. Colorado best football, Colorado dominance. Like,
Yeah, most definitely, Dex. I'm like I said, I'm just ecstatic for the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm very happy that they're able to continue their successful journey this season. I don't want nobody to, basically not give them credit. They moved to 8-2 this year. Also, Travis has proven, like I said, on both ends, man, he's really stepping it up. It's going to be real problematic at that next level. A lot of people feel he ain't going to be able to do this. He ain't going to be able to do that. I think he's going to shock a lot of people. This is just the beginning of, his greatness. And Deion continues to echo the statements of he's going to be sticking around in Colorado. A lot of people feel like something greener is on the horizon. But from what I'm hearing, it seems like they're building, they're already working on replacements. I'm bringing in guys that have similar, backgrounds as a Travis. He's saying that you're going to have to bring 3 or 4 guys to replace what Travis is doing. He's identifying receivers, especially defenders, who they're going to bring in to replace these guys that's on their way to the NFL. And we're going to see. Dex, there's a lot of statements going on, and with Deion Sanders in Dallas potentially. What's your thoughts? Because obviously Dallas could use this kind of energy, this kind of mindset. What's the connection between Deion Sanders and the Dallas Cowboys?
well, outside of Jerry Jones, nothing. I do not believe Deion Sanders is going to take on that task of coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Deion loves to be the guy with the clay on the pottery wheel to shape and fashion things into the form that he sees best. And in Dallas, I don't think that he will have that authority. I think Jerry Jones will not relinquish any authority. I don't think his son Steven is going to relinquish any authority because they have built the Dallas Cowboys into a mega conglomerate, the most prized franchise in all sports in all of the world. There's no franchise more prized or value higher than the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care what portion of the globe or flat earth, whatever geometric you believe, that is more prize worthy than the Dallas Cowboys. And so if Jerry built Jerry's world, the $1 billion playpen and what it is right now, you think he's going to relinquish that to a coach that has never had any NFL experience or winning? No, I don't think so. So on that potentiality, there could be a clashing of aptitude, attitude, and atmospheric pressure coming from these two celebrity media giants, Coach Prime and Jerry Jones. But I'm not saying that he's going to be stuck at Colorado because there could be other pockets opening up for Coach Prime to come in and do something really great for an NFL team. Because the NFL is really jealous right now with all of the celebrity and the viewership that Coach Prime has had NCAA football operating in the black, especially when it comes to media coverage. Like, there's no secret that the influence and presence of Coach Prime at Colorado University, that the Colorado University football team has been on national TV every freaking game, 10 straight games. Like, think about that. A team that was 1-11 3 years ago, a team that was 4-8 1 year ago, and Now they're 8-2. They have yet to miss the beat when it comes to nationally televised games. There has been murmurs in the rumor mill that big media is hardcore negotiating and fighting to get Colorado in one of their time slots. Now, the Big 12 has the first right of refusal. Fox Sports 1 has the first right of refusal. And they're asking for big bucks behind closed doors to be able to allow other media conglomerates to broadcast Colorado football live. Like,
don't you feel like Deion Sanders, he's just transcended all forms of media? I mean, wouldn't it be beneficial to open up the floodgates? Because Deion, he brings so much eyes and attention and just media coverage. I mean, it's ridiculous.
listen, the Colorado Buffaloes are being simulcast on stations that don't even speak English. I'm talking about stations like Univision. I mean, the announcers talking about Colorado football, touchdown, Thunder, Travis Scott, miraculously fantastical. I mean, they're not even speaking English, and they are just as excited for Colorado football as we are here in the United States and in the college football landscape. Like, so that shows you the purchasing power and the expansive influence and the gravity of Colorado football under the auspice and leadership of Coach Prime and dictate of Rick George. Rick George made a sensational grab to nab Coach Prime and pry him away from Jackson State University. It's a shame that we cannot keep our own in house when we know that they are doing a superb job due to envy and jealousy and comfortability, and do not want nobody to upset the apple cart in the HBCU circuit. And because of that, how Prime thinks out the box, and some of the HBCU faculties and presidents and executive committees want to remain comfortable and not be rattled or shaken in their position to pursue greatness. Like,
That's you're absolutely right, Dex. Do you think a lot of teams are kicking themselves that they didn't get Coach Prime Deion Sanders? Because they was thinking about last year, not realizing he was going to have a season like this.
well, I wouldn't say kicking themselves per se, but a lot of athletes. How can I say this without being a prude, right? I don't want to be a dickhead, but a lot of athletic directors, they're part of that good old boy network. And Coach Prime just didn't fit in with the good old boy network. Now, I'm not talking about his color, right? Because there's black coaches that fit right into the good old boy network. I'm not talking about his color. I'm talking about the way he thinks. He thinks like a free, independent black man. And that is disturbing to some of these PWIs and the powers that be that help operate them, whether it's alumni, whether it's faculty, or whether it's the good old donors, right? Because they want to have control. Coach Prime wants all hands off when dealing with him because he's bringing all hands on in order to manifest that which is necessary and needed for that particular said university or institutions. Like, so I wouldn't say they're kicking themselves in the butt. Some people feel that, okay, you can do it over there because you can't do that, what you're doing over there, over here. And that's how the game is played. It's about power, dominion, and controlling the power and dominion part.
Yeah, absolutely. The next game for the Colorado Buffaloes, Dex, is against Kansas. What's going to happen? Do you think they're going to be able to beat Kansas? And what would another win do for Colorado and Coach Prime, Deion Sanders and company?
Now, Flight, I got to be honest with you. I would love for the Colorado Buffaloes to roll in to Lawrence, Kansas, and beat those Jayhawks until they have no feathers. I'm talking about stampede the birds, right? But Kansas is going to be pretty ready for you. Kansas is one of those big boy teams. They're like Nebraska. So if they can withstand the pain and pressure that Kansas brings on their front foot as they play their 4-3 defense, then Colorado can overcome a whirlwind up in Lawrence, Kansas. Kansas is one of those teams that you can't sleep on because if you do, you have a rude awakening. Like I said, they are kind of structured on that Nebraska type football, you know. And Colorado just has to be prepared because sometimes Colorado, when you're dealing with a bunch of spades out there on that football field, you have your ebbs and flows through the vicissitude of the four quarters that the game is played. And you can't afford to have this type of up and down roller coaster type adventure when you're on the road at places like Kansas because they will bite you. They will chew you up and then spit you out like the food that you didn't think that you was going to be. So bring something to the table or be on the menu. So Colorado going to have to make a executive decision on their emotional ride as they enter into one of the flattest places in all of the earth, and that's Kansas. So be aware of the I-70 corridor as you go on that toll road into Lawrence, Kansas, and that beautiful, I'm talking about that's a beautiful campus. And don't get hypnotized by the slowness of the city when you go into Lawrence, Kansas. Because like I said, like that could be a trap game. And we don't need any more trap games for Colorado this season. Play Kansas and all of that big blue that they represent, like if you was playing Alabama, Georgia, Texas, or Ohio State. So don't go sleepwalking in the Lawrence, Kansas flight. They must approach that game with rigor, focus, concentration, and with deleterious intent on the defense side of the ball so they can smother Kansas and get this game over with quick and they can walk out with a victory and they can walk out healthy as they came in. Like,
yeah, I want to bring up another question about Travis. I know we could get caught up about the Heisman, but are we starting to shortcut him? Should he be the number one player off the board in the draft? I mean, is he the number one pick in the draft this upcoming year?
I don't think Travis should be the number one pick in the draft because I don't believe that he's going to play both ways, right? They're going to draft him based on what teams need. Do they need a receiver or do they need a defensive back? You know what I'm saying? A pass stopper, a pass interrupter. What do they need? So I think teams that's going to draft Travis Hunter going to draft Travis Hunter based on need. They're not going to draft him based on him being the best athlete. This is not basketball. This is football. So whatever the team needs will determine what slot that Travis Hunter will be drafted in. I believe a quarterback should be number one because there's a lot of teams that's faltering out here on that tundra in the NFL based on the lack of talent at the QB1 position.
Good point there. You know, because everybody believes Travis is playing both sides of the football, but you are right. It's going to be dependent on what needs. So where do you see Travis going? Is he a top 10 pick? I mean, under those circumstances, where does he fall?
Right. Travis Hunter is definitely a top 10 pick. There might be some shuffling going on. So I would say Travis Hunter would be maybe the fourth player pick. I don't think he's going to go beyond five. And if everything is in pursuit of what the Raiders do, either the Raiders going to draft Travis Hunter or the Raiders going to draft Shadur Sanders.
They
And
get one of them.
yeah, they're getting one of them. And I'm telling you, whoever drafts Travis Hunter has an opportunity also, depending on where they pick in the second round, to draft Shiloh Sanders. So they can get a double doozy for the price of one.
Yeah. What if the Giants is in position? What do the Giants do? Do they take Travis, to pair him with neighbors, or do they go with Shador Sanders and just get Daniel Jones up out of here? If you were the Giants, what would you do?
Well, to be honest with you, Clay, I think Travis Hunter is going to be drafted as a DB. Now, he might play some receiver in certain special packages, but I think teams who are grinding, because the NFL is an aerial incursion, right? It's just an aerial assault. So you need players like Travis Hunter, who is tall, big, physical, smart, high processor, and is willing to get the job done. He's not going to come in here playing. It's almost like Travis Hunter is coming straight out of the military right into the NFL. He's well disciplined. He's well focused. He knows how to keep his eyes on the prize, and he will keep the main thing the main thing. So that's what you want on the defense side of the ball, because a lot of these cornerbacks are small and a lot of these cornerbacks are weary, especially when you got these big-time receivers like Debo, Samuel, Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Brown, St. Brown, Tyreek, et cetera, even neighbors for crying out loud. Jay Flowers, you have a lot of studs at receiver, but you don't have a lot of studs at defensive back, and they have to play these wild trickery games in the backfield for the defense. Something that is wax poetic.
Good point there, Dax. Corey reacts. He says trifecta, pick Deion, Shador, and Hunter. Obviously it's not going to be realistic. I do believe that everybody's splitting up this year. Hopefully, whoever could get one of them could get Shiloh. I think that's the case. But you're not going to see a situation where you have Shador and Travis together, at least not in the beginning of their careers. Maybe in the future, yes, because I think they're always going to be linked. So let's see. How do you see these guys two faring being to get away from each other when they get to the next level?
It doesn't matter. They're going to be successful. They're going to be successful. They was only joined at the hip at Jackson State and then to Colorado. But prior to that, Travis Hunter was a 5-star recruit, and I think Shadur Sanders was a 4-star recruit. So they had their own successful path already laid out. And like I said in previous streams, it was a iffy that Shadur would even go to Jackson State. Deion had to put off a soft threat, like, listen, son, the decision is yours, but if it don't work out where you plan on going, don't come back hollering to me trying to bail you out of a bad situation. So you better come on now and let it be done, because this is your first and last opportunity to be a member of Jackson State.
Wow, could you imagine a situation where Shador wasn't at Jackson State, where he would have been? It's gonna be interesting though. You are right; they will be successful. Do you see these guys pairing up maybe in the future when the contracts in line? Both of them start doing really well when they get there, which everybody expects.
Well, I mean, like, that's looking way down into the future. Not only contracts aligned, but you got health and you got situations. So to prognosticate something that deep off into the future, I think you're gonna need a soothsayer.
Right. It's gonna be interesting to see, man. We're gonna be watching these guys all season long, to be honest with you. Dex, is there anything that we may have missed or that we need to touch on involving these Buffaloes?
Yes. We know we give a lot of love to Livingston and Coach Sapp But we got to give a lot of love to D. Lewis, man. I mean, he was one of the prize D linemen at the U, Miami University. So he's there as well, instilling some really good traits into these defensive linemen to keep them motivated and keep them voraciously hungry with a rapacious appetite to maim and destroy the opponent. Big shout out to D. Lewis and what he is doing and the words that he is espousing to these young men to keep that spiral of competitiveness going strong. Like,
Yes, most definitely, man. Listen, we're gonna have a lot of Colorado Buffaloes content for the people. Make sure you hit the like button if you're new. Most definitely hit the subscribe button. It's Flight Sports TV. Shout out All Access Decks.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.